Hi guys, welcome to another video. Hope you're all keeping well. Now for this video I'd like to review a movie. This is actually a movie version of a very popular horror novel by Shirley Jackson. We Have Always Lived in the Castle, which is a brilliant novel, and as I say, this is the movie adaptation of that very same novel, and it is called, again, We Have Always Lived in the Castle. So there you go guys, there's the back of it. Yeah. Okay then guys, before I say anything further about the movie and give you my thoughts on the story as a whole and give it a rating, I'll just read you the back of this edition just in case you're not familiar with it. Two sisters, Alexandra Daddario and Tessa Farmiga, live secluded in a large manor and care for their deranged uncle Julian, played by Crispin Glover. Now, the rest of their family died 5 years before under suspicious circumstances. When a cousin arrives for a visit, family secrets and scandals unravel, based on the beloved Shirley Jackson novel. So there you go, guys. That's the synopsis for the as I say, the horror thriller based on the novel by Shirley Jackson. We Have Always Lived in the Castle came out a couple of years ago. Okay, then, guys. On to my thoughts now on the movie. It was okay, but I must admit, guys, I did prefer the novel. There was a couple of differences like in this and that. Not too many to be, not too many to sort of like put me off the movie, but they did change one or two things and that. I wasn't too happy with. The novel's a bit more sort of like bit more sort of like reserved and secretive and that. But so basically you've got these two sisters living in this big house and that in the country. Mary Cass and Constance. Constance is the oldest sister, and Mary Cat is the youngest one. So basically, it's told from the point of view of Mary Cat. Now, basically, it's after there was a big court case in which Constance was accused of murdering the whole family, and she was acquitted of the murder. But there's still a layer of mystery surrounding exactly what happened. Wiped out a whole family. So you've got the two sisters, and they're hated by the townsfolk, because every time they go into town, well, every time Mary Cat especially goes into town, she's subjected to a lot of abuse and that, real black sheep and that, everybody boos her and that, and just wishes her dead and that, because they hate the sisters that much, for the murder and that, so you've got that aspect. And then you've got a relative comes to the house, called cousin Charles, and he's after the money. He's got sort of like a devious purpose and that. So that character comes into it, and Mary Cat takes an instant dislike to him and that. I'll try not to give too much away of the story, guys, but it's a good little thriller. But I must admit, I did prefer the novel version. We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson there. Fantastic writer. This was actually her last novel. So, but it's very slow burner, and as I say, Mary Cat is supposed to be the main. She's sort of like doing the voiceover and that, describing what happens, and she's sort of the two sisters have been described as two kind of young witches, but it's not really in your face sort of thing witchcraft, if you know what I mean. It's very subtle, because Mary Cat, she's played by Vera Farmiga's daughter, by the way. She sort of goes into the woods, and she's got all these it's sort of weird things like nailed to the trees and that, books and that, and all sorts of little things what she's collected and that, little symbols and that. And then she's got a little cat with it as well, but yeah, they're very sinister, these two, more so Mary Cat, but if you like these sorts of slow burning movies set in these big manor houses deep in the countryside, I think you'll enjoy this one. We Have Always Lived in the Castle. As I say, I did prefer the novel, guys, to the movie, but that's just my opinion. This is a great novel. Again, it's a slow burner. You've got to stick with it, but it has got a good twist in it. And Shirley Jackson, her other most famous novel was The Haunting of Hill House. She's a great writer. I've got her short stories as well, and that, sadly no longer with us. I think she died in 1965. Yeah, but yeah, this is described as her best story. I don't know whether I think it was. I'd say my personal opinion was the best story. I think The Haunting of Hill House was her best story. This is very hard to get, this, guys. I had to send away for it, off a dealer, off eBay. But as I say, it's got very dark moments and that, lovely scenery, by the way, the countryside and that. and the big manor house and that, and the two sisters. And if you like your food, there's a lot of sorts of like scenes involved where they're all sitting at the table eating all sorts of dishes and that, you know, all sorts of kind of, like Constance bakes a lot of food and that, you know, so you see a lot of shots of them eating, you know, eating hearty meals at the table and that. But then you've got their uncle Julian as well. He was the only survivor of this sort of like the murder spree, you know, and he's sort of like it's damaged his body basically, and he's sort of like he's losing his mind, and he's writing his memoirs particularly about what happened that day of the mass murder, you know, in the house and that, you know, allegedly caused by Constance. But as I say, she was acquitted of the murder, but there's still some mystery surrounding exactly what happened that day. She wiped the whole family out and that, so you've got that overhanging, you've got that shadow overhanging the whole story, you know. But yeah, it's a good little thriller. But I say it's a very, very slow burner. We have always lived in the castle. But they might do a Blu-ray release of this eventually. I don't know yet. But yeah, so as I say, the cast is Taste the Farm again, Alexandra Daddario, Crispin Glover, and Sebastian Stan. But yeah, great shots of the countryside and the house and that, in a particular part. I don't want to give too much away where the fire starts in the house and that, but the villagers, oh, they really hate them. They really got it in for them. You know, even little kids on the bikes, and like Mary Cat goes into town and that, you know, and she gets a lot of abuse, you know, and oh yeah, they're really nasty, the villagers and that, you know, and it causes like the anger to simmer, to get larger and larger, you know, to sort of like stew. In regards to how Mary Cat sees the villagers now. They basically labelled them outcasts after the murder, you know, the massacre of the family. But yeah, it's worth checking out, guys. If you like these sorts of slow burning thrillers, you might like We Have Always Lived in the Castle. I'm keeping it in the collection anyway, because I did like the novel. I've read the novel about 3 times now. So but yeah, I won't give away too much of it either. You know, I might do a separate review of this for my book channel, Alan Toner Horror Author, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, not a bad little sort of like adaptation. There's a couple of things they did sort of like tweak just a little bit, you know, they sort of like give a little bit too much away too soon, but that's just my opinion. Yeah. Okay then, guys, on to a rating now of We Have Always Lived in the Castle. I think I'll give it, I'll give it 7 out of 10. Yeah, not great, but not bad. Average kind of thriller, you know. But as I say, I did prefer, you know, I've got to keep saying I did prefer the novel We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson. Highly recommended if you like these slow burning thrillers. Yeah, okay then, guys, that concludes my review of the film version of Shirley Jackson's classic and last novel, We Have Always Lived in the Castle. Have any of you guys seen We Have Always Lived in the Castle? What did you think of it? Did you like the movie better than the book, or were you like me? Did you prefer the novel to the movie? Let me know in the comments down below. Let's get a good discussion going about this movie. Indeed, let's get a good discussion about Shirley Jackson's work as a whole. You know, a great writer, you know, and I must mention a short story, guys, Velocity, what she wrote in, I think it was about 1948. Oh, of course, it shocked the world and that, you know. I won't tell you about it. You'll have to check out for yourself. But oh yeah, it earned a lot of hatred. Yeah, so check out a short story called The Lottery by Shirley Jackson. Oh, what a story. Indeed, I think I did mention that in a video I did last year, saying my top 10 favourites horror short stories of all time. Yeah, I think I did. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did mention a lot of. Yeah. Okay then, guys, that's it. I'll round the review up now of We Have Always Lived in the Castle. But yeah, but this is a movie that is heavily reliant on atmosphere, you know. And if a Mary Cat, you know, it's all seen through her eyes, as I say. And Constance and that, she's the calmer of the two. You know, she's sort of like smiling all the time and that, you know. And then, as I say, you've got their Uncle Julian. You know, he's sort of like writing his memoirs and that, you know, and but great performance all around, a good solid cast, and quite creepy in parts. Okay then, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Yeah, if you like the video, please feel free to share, subscribe, comment, and don't forget to check out my new channel where I talk about my work as a writer and review all horror books, author profiles, and so on. Okay then, guys, that's it. Have a nice evening. Bye for now. If you enjoyed watching this video, guys, you might like to check out my website at www.alantoner.com. You'll be able to find out a little bit more about my work as a writer and all the books I have published to date. Thanks for watching.